My name is Elizabeth from Elizabeth Magical Garden. Here is where I empower women to reclaim their authentic power, embrace their inner wisdom, and transform life's most challenges. Transitions into profound opportunities for spiritual growth and self-discovery. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. Subscribe to the newsletter at Elizabeth Magical Garden, as well as check out my podcast at Elizabeth Magical Garden, which goes live every single day. Hi, my name is Elizabeth from Elizabeth Magical Garden, a magical garden reaching for the stars. Guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Elizabeth from Elizabeth Magical Garden. I am so happy to be here. I know it's been a while. It's been a while since your girl been live. And, you know, we're going to get into a couple of things because her birthday is literally as we speak in a couple of hours. So whoop, 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 whoop. Yes, honey. So I said to myself, you know what? I've been away for a little while. I mean, you know, your girl have been posting, but you know, going live, I really, really enjoy coming before you guys and then spending a little time. I'm still having my coffee right now as we speak. It was 10:10 when I looked at my phone and I was like, of course it would be. So we got a little mug here, got a little lady boss mug, having coffee. For those who don't know, I like to have my coffee black. I don't put any milk. I don't put any sugar. We are here like straight bossing it. So there's that. So for those who live in New York City, for those who live in New York City, you already know what's going on. The Knicks has won a second game and not even in their hometown. So now we are looking forward to what's going on. My son has been keeping me about. I'm not going to even sit here and play like I have been following the game. But you know what? It's really hard not to follow if you are a New Yorker. Like you have to, you just have to be part of the mix. It's not something that cannot be felt. Everybody is rooting for the Knicks, and I am no short of that. I've been blessed to have my son put me on. So yeah, so we won again. So shout out to them. And it just got me to really thinking about how God's work is, right? This having the energy, just having the ability to, as women, how we are able to evolve and acclaim our seat in this life. I came across this meme. I don't know if it was a meme. Do we still call it meme? But it was a short, okay? And it said how the Knicks is doing God's work. And I was just like, you know what? That makes sense, because everybody, just seeing everybody come together, everybody bringing forth their own opinion, their own spin, just coming and rallying amongst one another. And I just feel like in this space that we are in, this is a great season to have all of this happen. And of course, my birthday is right around the corner. Girls, I've been feeling it. Yesterday, I went to the dentist, and it was a thing. I had a good report. I'm happy to say I am one of those people that is really and just like really on point as much as I can. I'm not perfect because it was a little minute. I believe you're supposed to be going every 6 months, and I was a little past 6 months. But what I will say is that I love to do my due diligence. I have this water toothpick. It's not a toothpick. It's a flosser, a water flosser. My cousin was the one to enlighten me about that. At the time, she was on her journey along with her children. They were braces and everything like that. And she disclosed with me that a toothpick, because I think I don't know, we were talking about flossing, and she put me on, girl, about the water flosser. Never looked back. I never looked back. I never looked back ever since then, and life changing. So I know it had a lot to do with that, because it's really good for your gums, and you'd be surprised the amount of debris. I know this is not a elegant conversation, but you'd be surprised of the amount of debris that's still in your teeth even when you floss. Okay, so you sitting there flossing, girl, you flossing with the flosser, brushing your teeth, thinking you're doing something. And don't get me wrong, you are doing something, because something is better than nothing. But getting a flosser that use water to like flush out your gums, life changing. So girl, I just been really taking initiative to see how far I've came. Today when I was writing in my journal, I did a countdown, so to speak, like a rundown. I wanted to do a rundown about how, like, all the things I've done over the course of the year. Like, what have you done? And I've done a lot. I started some things. I finished a lot of things, and I'm just like in a new season of my life. And I wanted to take some time to breathe life into you guys, faith and abundance vibes, because let me tell you something. Just like the Knicks, could you imagine, like, they haven't, from what I was told, haven't won in like over 2 decades. This is really big. This is a really big season. I heard about to the point where, like, Eve, I don't follow, but every time I would hear the Knicks, I'm like, okay, because I never heard like them winning a national or something like that. They just kind of been dormant as far as on my radar. The last time I felt any type of like hoo-ha on my radar was when the Dream Team, when Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, they were doing their thing. And that was like really the last time I was really interested in basketball, to be honest. Like, after Michael Jordan retired, I pretty much retired too. As if I was playing right. I pretty much was like, okay, bye, because he was such a charismatic player, and it wasn't just his ability to play on the court. I was very appreciative at that time. My son was a little boy. He did a lot of movies. He did a lot of great endorsements that showed us, especially a brown skinned people, right, Black people, in a different light. And I appreciate that, especially of a mother of a young boy at that time. I really appreciated his work. So shout out to Michael Jordan. Okay, so how can we obtain abundance while still being in our soft era? Now that I'm in my 50s, okay, one of the key components of, I believe, not only obtaining a certain amount of energy, being able to move forward in life, just acclaiming peace and resilience. Because when you take the time, guys, to practice peace, your ability to be resilient in your life it just goes it just puts you, I should say, it puts you in such a elevated way that when people see you, they cannot help but experience your radiance. They cannot help but to experience your magic, because there is a magic that women acclaim when they are in a place in their lives where they are comfortable within their own bodies. And this ability to win at life is top tier. One of the main components that I believe that helps you not only feel vibrant, put you in a place where you can express yourself is moving your body. I just finished doing my chores. Yes, girl, we still do our chores over here. We still do our home chores until we can, delegate that. And I'm going to touch on that as well. But before I do anything, I move my body. Before I do anything for anybody else, I make it a point to practice moving my body, inhaling and exhaling, writing in my journal, assessing my thoughts, seeing how I feel, what are my views for the day, how am I feeling, and noticing the things that are provoking or feeling like I'm being provoked within my spirit. And one of the reasons why I believe moving your body is so important, not only does it regulate your nervous system, not only are you able to build muscle in areas that you didn't realize that you needed them, because when I started practicing ballet, when I incorporated ballet into my body movement routine, I didn't realize how much I was able to get strong in different areas in my body until I started practicing. So do not be shy when it comes to finding different ways to move your body. There's always something that you can do. I'm always preaching about that. And not only is it important for you to move your body, I always say, I believe I always believe when I come and revisit my yoga mat, I'm also visiting God. Because every time you move your body, guys, every time you are blessed, okay, whenever you are blessed to move your body, that is a miracle. That is a blessing from God, believe it or not, because there are plenty of people out here that is not able to do that are not able to move their bodies. So do not take movement for granted. I remember, oh my God, not to be a Debbie Downer, but I remember when I injured my back a couple of years ago. That was so scary. Not only was it scary, it was eye-opening. It was eye-opening to the point where I had to re-examine every area of my life, because the first time, because it happened twice. The first time it happened, that month, I had to spend a whole month in bed. Okay. And it happened the month before my birthday. So May was the whole month in bed. Even picking up a jug of water was impossible for me at that time. I was so scared. I was nervous. I felt defeated. I was angry with my body because I was like, I felt like my body was somewhat betraying me at that point in time of my life. I know it's so silly, but I did. And if it wasn't after God, if it wasn't for my mom, I don't know where I would have been, because she unfortunately went through that years ago. I think it happened because she was picking me up. It happened, I believe, when I was a little girl, and she threw out her back, and so this is when I realized how much taking time to stretch was a thing to this day, because I feel like whenever you have an injury, there's always going to be a sensitive area. It's like you heal, but now you have awoken something, right? There is a phantom scar, so to speak. So you always have to be careful. Be mindful of that area. And my back is something that I'm always mindful, to the point where which I learned, especially when I was going to physical therapy, first of all, I was holding my body wrong. I was lifting my body. I was never engaging my core. Okay. And another thing, stretching and working on my glutes is top tier. So be aware of how you move your body. Understand that whenever you're able to move, whenever you're able to exercise, whenever you're able to stretch, this is a gift from God. This is not something to take lightly, because again, there is somebody right now that's not able to do that. Okay. Especially as we get, cuter in age. So there's that. So I did some reassessments, which something that I like to do every quarter, every 6 months, definitely every year. I'm always taking time to reassess. This is another reason why I love to follow the moon quarters, because it forces me to sit and meditate and realign areas in my life that I probably necessarily wouldn't do if I didn't take that time to do it. Okay. So for you, it may not be following the moon phases. It may be you just putting a reminder in your phone, but I like to romanticize my life. So there's that. I did a episode about elegance and what makes a woman elegant, some of the things, and I find it to be a really good segment, of course. So be sure to subscribe to my podcast at Elizabeth Magical Garden. All the information will be down below. Oh, and of course, subscribe to this channel, and shout out. Hold up. Because I'm drinking this coffee, and if I sound a little like, it's because it's black coffee, of course. Shout out to all my new subscribers. Shout out to all my new subscribers. Could we shout you out, guys? You guys been coming through. You guys have been visiting. You guys have been cheering me on. You guys have been even going to my other channel and subscribing on there as well. Guys, you guys rock. I'm so appreciative to each and every one of you. And especially, of course, we cannot leave out the oldies but goodies, the ones, my day ones. You guys have stuck around. You guys have been part of my journey. So I'm just really grateful. Me coming live is really just giving gratitude to each and every one of you. I don't know, like, I'm one of those people, like, when it's my birthday, I like to give back. I like to do that anyway, but even more so, I just love to shine a little love. So let me tell you a little bit about the episode that I recorded for my podcast. So anyway, what brought that particular episode on, and again, it's at Elizabeth Magical Garden podcast. Yesterday, I did mention I went to the dentist. It was time for a cleaning. I just went to, see, do the things, like make sure everything is good, do the things. And I got cute. I believe, especially, this is so, I know it's warm outside, but this is feeling so cozy in my back. I'm one of those people that love to romanticize their lives. I aim to use every bit of my journey of breath in my body, thank you God, to be in my femininity, to feel good as a woman, to understand that it is a gift to be a female in this body. And I'm fighting. Okay, girl, we not gonna cry, because there was a point in my life where I did not love myself. I did not love myself. I did not love myself nowhere near the way I should have. I didn't respect myself nowhere near the way I should have. And my my understanding of respect for myself, when I look back, was not in void. And yes, it came from, part of it was childhood trauma and some of the things that I endured. Yes, yes, yes. We know about those things. And I'm not diminishing those things. What you are hearing is a false idea of what I believed at that time was respect was not, and through hard work, through decades of hard work, through honesty and letting go of a lot of things that no longer served me, whether it be people, whether it be situations, whether it be belief systems. It took a lot for me to get here. This wasn't a one and done, and I'm still on the journey. I believe personally it's a life journey. It's a lifelong journey when it comes to self evolution, right? Because every day we are evolving, but it just feels good to be here, right? Oh, and we cannot forget therapy. Okay, girl, because we're not going to sit here and act like we didn't go to the mind gym, okay? Because that definitely is, praise God. So anyway, yesterday, your girl was looking cute. I was looking cute. I did my hair, guys. I did do a, what you call this? I did a quick weave, okay? Because, girl, one of the things I know, I did a sew-in the other day. I think I mentioned that in one of my get readies. I did a sew-in. I snatched it. I'm not a person that can be committed. What was that? I'm not a person that can be committed that long to a hairstyle. I don't know. I think more or less, I'm not always feeling comfortable with that being sewed to my head. I think it's just psychologically, it does something to me. Like, I want to know that in a heartbeat, I can let go of that hairstyle. So a quick weave does it for me. Yes, I did do the sidebar, okay? Because I want to mention something else, but it just went into that because I am loving my hair and I am loving how it's looking. I did do a quick weave. I did do the shield. There is, one day I'm going to stay tuned. I'm going to share some of my favorites with you guys because I do have a lot of them. And I feel like it would be very helpful, especially for women my age, because there are a lot of us that loves to do our own hair, and I'm one of them. I am a licensed cosmetologist, so I do have to mention that. And I understand not everybody is comfortable with doing their own hair, but I'm speaking to the people that are comfortable. And even if you're not, some of the things that you can learn can be helpful on your journey because we do have YouTube University. So there's that. So I did do the protective shield. So what I'll and this is the first time I'm using that particular one because the dark one, I don't really like that one. There was another one that I used. I don't know if I used it. I didn't like that one. I like the clear one. So that's another thing because I'm a textured person. There's certain things like I don't like how it was like all over like messy. It was giving like ill. So the clear one, even if it was I wasn't able to see all of that mess and everything. So I was loving that. So I did use that. So the premise of that is when I am ready to take this out, it's supposed to just like slide on off with water. So stay tuned for that. I'll let y'all know about that one. So I did that. And this is a, what is this? This is body wave Brazilian hair. So I personally believe like this goes like really good with my hair. So it's in between, and I did cut some layers from previous using this hair. So I'm loving how it came out. I do have leave out, but yeah, and especially going to the gym, I'm not here for the perfect, but I do want it to be, you know, presentable, for my take. And I love it. And it's pretty long. So I did cut a little bit, but yeah. So anyway, so yesterday I was feeling myself. I went and I got dressed. I put on a nice little skirt. It was really cute. And just like simple, but elegant, right? That was the look I was going for. Honestly, I was going for more like comfortable, simple, and classic. So I went, and after I finished at my dentist appointment, I sashayed on because I wanted to go to I went to go get a pedicure at this place that I love going, and unfortunately I don't know if they closed, but they were doing some construction. So I'm thinking that they're revamping the place because it was old. It was an old place. It was still looking nice, but I think that it probably was up for a upgrade. So I'm thinking that's what they're doing. So I'll check back in a couple of weeks during the summer to see if that was the case. So anyway, because after this, I'm going to go get my nails and my pedicure done. So, we want to be cute for our birthday. We want to wake up like a princess. Well, queen, I should say. Where am I going with this? So I was walking and it was really hot, and these women, two beautiful, I'm gonna call them silver foxes, they stopped me, and both of them, but one of them, she was like, because I had my headphones on, so I couldn't hear what she was saying. So basically, to make a long story short, she was like, "You look really beautiful." Of course, I'm a ham. I took it all in. I was like, oh my God. I was like, thank you so much. It was like, I'm so appreciative. Thank you. And then she said something to me, which really made me think. She said, anybody could be a woman, but not everybody could be a lady. And you look really beautiful. And I was like, first of all, I was stunned. I was like, thank you. And, I just said, I received that. Because I'm always the type of person, I don't mind giving it up for women. Like if I see a beautiful woman, I'm going to tell you how beautiful you are. I'm going to tell you how magnificent you are. I just love people to feel good about themselves. And especially when I see somebody that took the time out to get themselves together, why not? Right. But it got me to thinking. I was like, first of all, what makes a lady? What is it? What makes a lady? And I started asking myself that, right? Because everybody have their own interpretation what something is and what something isn't, right? It's just like art, right? You can go to an art show and see a beautiful painting, and everybody will have their own interpretation of what they received from the picture. And one of the things I believe which makes a person a lady is how they carry themselves. Because whether you have on jeans, whether you have on sweats, whether you have on a dress, your body composition says a lot about you. How you walk, how you hold your posture, how you hold your shoulders back. Are you walking down with your head looking down, or do you have your head up? Is your shoulders back? Are you appearing confident when you're walking? Are you walking with poise and purpose? Or are you scurrying, walking down because you got to hurry up and do the things? And let me tell you something. One of the reasons why I feel confident in this conversation, not only because of the nice compliment I got yesterday, but I was one of those women for decades that, especially when I was in my 20s and my 30s, I remember when I used to go to work and I used to drop my son off and do the things like most of us single moms do. Us moms out here running around ragged, right? And I would be, after I would drop him off, I would run to work literally in heels and just be like, hustling and bustling, gotta, to the next thing. And I remember this lady, God spare her spirit. She was such a beautiful woman. And, unfortunately we lost contact over the years, but she was such a beautiful woman. And she used to always tell me, slow down, slow down. And I would feel horns coming out my forehead because I'm looking at her like, what do you like? What do you mean slow down? I got things to do. Okay, so decades later, now I understand what she meant. Because let me tell you something, boo. The same thing that is going to be expected of you, the same thing that needs to get done, the same thing that whatever is required of you is going to still be there, whether you rush or whether you take time and allow yourself to get there. We weren't built like that. And this is one of the reasons why I believe, at least, why women are having nervous breakdowns, especially by the time they get to their 40s, right? Because it's all cute when you're in your 20s and your 30s. Oh, yeah, it's cute. Yeah. It's really cute when you're in your 30s and when you're in your 40s and you're running around like a chicken without a head. Sister, something changes when you hit your 40s. It all balls to the wall. No puns intended. Everything gets haywire. Your body is now working to lose estrogen. Your body is now working for this new journey, which is called menopause. Okay? And let me tell you something about this menopause. Okay? What happens is everything that you were doing up until that time, you start to feel the breakdown. And it's not just a physical thing. Your nervous system, because remember, you're losing blood every single month, right? Your menstrual cycle tells a lot. Okay? I'm going to give you an example. When you are in your menstrual cycle, everything that you've done that, and you're going to feel me on this. Just be a little patient with me. Everything that you've done up until your menstrual cycle, you feel it when you are on it. Okay. If you've been walking around with no socks on, if you've been drinking a whole bunch of cold beverages, if you don't start your morning with warm beverages, if you've been doing a lot of like drinking, hanging out, not getting a lot of sleep, not moving your body in a healthy way, oh yeah, it's time to pay once you get your menstrual cycle. Okay. This is when you feel your cramps. Do an experiment. One day, and especially for the girls that are not premenopausal yet, take some time, because I see you guys. I see that you guys are watching and following, and shout out to you guys. Okay, let me tell you, sweetheart, take some time, put some socks on, try drinking more water than you have been. Instead of starting with cold, iced tea, cold beverages, drink some hot tea. And if you don't like tea, take some lime, honey, and hot water. Drink that in a slow pace in the morning. Do that for 30 days. Right? Eat better. Do some stretches early in the morning. I can guarantee you that your next cycle, of course, still painful, we already know, Okay, women, this is why we have to treat ourselves so well, because we are born to be in pain. Okay, we're the ones who are bringing life into this world. Okay, so why wouldn't it make sense to treat yourself better? Right. So do that for 30 days, and I kid you not, you are going to experience a better flow in your next cycle. So, all this being said, imagine now, right? Because again, moving, doing the things, not giving your body the tender love and care that it deserves, and then you hit menopause. Imagine all of that times 10 hitting you. Of course, you're going to have a breakdown. Your nerves are shot, right? Spiritually, physically, and emotionally. Why? Because we live in a world dominated by men. And in order to get any type of acclaim, we've been told that we have to play their game in order to win. Well, I'm here to debunk all of that. I'm here to put that to rest. Okay. Rest in peace to that. Okay. Because we were not designed for this particular type of lifestyle. And you can be abundant. You can be, listen, I'm going to repeat that. You can be abundant. You can have wealth, health, and all the things, love in your life, in your feminine, just being you. There's no reason to rewrite what God has already made, what it has created. Okay? The mold was broke with you. There's only one you. You do not have to go so hard. And I'm speaking from experience, okay? Life experience. I'm in my 50s now. And let me tell you something. It wasn't until I came to that recollection of understanding that me moving in my pace is all I need to do. I don't need to follow somebody else's regime. Yes, this is not to say not to have aspirations. This is not to say not to have goals, but do it in a way where it suits you. And I know this is a real it's this concept that I am mentioning to you guys is really hard to wrap your mind around it, especially when all you've ever seen was your mother move hard, your grandmother move hard. But I'm here to tell you, it doesn't have to be like that. You can break the chain. You can breathe forth a new way of doing things. So when you are now ready to have your children, you can break generational, why can I speak? You can break generational curses by choosing to do different. It's a fact, right? And I understand that this way of thinking doesn't feel natural, although it should, because the natural order of things of being a woman, this is part of it. God, okay, so God told men, okay, and this is in the Bible. I came across this for those who don't know, I'm on this personal journey where I am working towards reading the Bible from the beginning to the end. And I came across this, I believe it's in Exodus, when God said, love your wife as God loves the church. Is it in Exodus? I don't remember. I'm not here for the whole like this, that, and the third. I usually, when I'm quoting, I usually look it up and put it up for you guys, but you can find it. It is a fact in the Bible when God said, love thy wife as Christ loved the church. Why is that? Oh, you know what it was? No, that wasn't in Exodus. I'm going to tell you what was in Exodus. So when Moses went and got all the, the rules from God, and God started naming all the things, he got him out of Egypt and was giving all the things where, so we can live a prosperous life, and showing and teaching us how to live amongst each other, right? Because for many, many years, the Israelites were oppressed by the Egyptians, right? This is how the story goes. And now that they're out, God is bringing back forth rules and regulations so mankind can be prosperous and be able to be affluent while they do so, right? So I believe it says, again, there was a lot of chaos, right? So in the scripture, there is a part where it says, if you take and sleep with a woman that is not your wife and she's a virgin, you have to pay her ransom. So it's either the father is going to give you his daughter as a wife and you have to pay this ransom, or, and this is in the Old Testament, or if the father chooses not to give you his daughter because you defiled her, right? His virgin daughter, you still have to pay the virgin price, even if you don't get the wife. Why did God put these rules in order for women? Why did God make it a point to put things in order where women will be always looked after? See, from the beginning, a woman was to be looked upon as virtuous and be provided for. And now I'm not going to go into the whole thing, the whole rhetoric about, oh, this, that, and the third. It is what it is. And the reason why I'm even bringing this up is because of how we are to revere ourselves, keep ourselves in mind, even before the children. Yes, even before the children. Because if a woman is not happy, the home is not happy. Everything is centered around you. So with that knowledge, right, regardless of your belief system, right, with that knowledge alone, why wouldn't you take time to take care of yourself? Why wouldn't you take time to pour back into you? Right? Yes, these are first world issues, like, getting your nails and getting your hair done. Yeah, I understand that, but it's not so much of the things, it's more on what it does for you. You remember when you was a little girl and you used to like to play dress up? How did that make you feel? Right? You was a princess of your own castle. Right? How did that make you feel? There's a reason why those fairy tales do so much, because it speaks to something that's already in you. And let me tell you something. They know it. And this is why the makeup industry is $1 billion industry. Industry. I can't even get it out, guys. Sometimes my Brooklyn accent, okay, is so hard that I can't even get the words out. But you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. I believe beauty, fashion, and all the things speak to a woman's spirit and they know this, but yet we're told to push, move forward, do the things, win, go hard, to the point where even when you see women in heels and looking beautiful, they still have this rugged attire. And trust me, I have been one of them. One would say I'm still one of them. You know what I mean? And there's no shade about that, but I do find it to be important to realize that you are a woman and to love on yourself and to give back to yourself and honor thyself, right? Because it is an honor that God chose you to potentially be the one to have children, whether you choose to or not. It is an honor. And honoring ourselves and not allowing anyone to defile ourselves is important, because people can't do what you don't let them do, right? No one can speak to you. No one could treat you in a way that you are not allowing. And yes, we could have some cracks, some things, go across the line. There are situations that are out of your hands. I do understand that. We all, come on. We know that the world is not a place full of roses and fairy tales. But I do believe taking the time to have faith, that understanding that God has a mission for you, and you choosing to be elegant in whatever way that you see fit puts you in an energetic winning wheel, so to speak, right? And I just want to shed light on that, because throughout my journey, if it wasn't for the hard rocks that I've been in, if it wasn't for the things that I went through in life, I wouldn't be able to work with the women that I work with. I wouldn't be able to write the articles that I write. And be sure to check out my blog at Elizabeth Magical Garden. I have so much work on there, guys. Energetically, I have put so much on there, and there are going to be some things that may no longer be part of that blog, because I am working on some other things. So now is the time. If you want to if you want to gather your nuts, be sure to head on over to the blog. Guys, I am about to leave you guys for now. And yeah, be sure to check everything out, as well as hit that bell. Yes, hit that bell so you'll be notified whenever I go live on this channel, as well as my podcast channel at Elizabeth Magical Guys, at Elizabeth Magical Garden Podcast. You'll be able to be notified whenever I go live on that channel as well, because like I mentioned, there are going to be some things that will be part of this humble abode. Again, thank you to all my new subscribers. I really appreciate you guys' support on this channel and also on all my platforms as well. Guys, stay blessed, stay in peace, and stay empowered. Peace.